All right, great group. Thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate your time. This is an exciting day for Baylor University and for Baylor Athletics. We'll hear from Baylor's Vice President and Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades, coming up in just a few minutes. He'll give us a special update on the athletics portion of the Give Light campaign. Let me make a few introductions while I'm here. We are pleased to have the Commissioner of the Big 12 with us. Bob Bowlesby is here today. Commissioner, welcome to Waco. Welcome to Baylor. Tim Weiser is with us, Deputy Commissioner. We appreciate you guys coming down from Dallas. Baylor President Linda Livingstone is here. Madam President, welcome to you. We appreciate it, and we'll hear from Mack Rhoades, our athletic director, in just a bit. We also have most, if not all, of our head coaches of our various sports that are here today. And at the conclusion of Mack's presentation and then questions for Mack, our coaches will be available for questions also. So appreciate all of our coaches making things work in their schedule to be with us today. All right, now join me in welcoming, coming forward as Baylor's Vice President and Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades, with a very special announcement. Welcome, Mack Rhoades.
Thank you, everyone. We certainly appreciate you all taking time out of your day to spend some quality time with us. We're grateful for that. John acknowledged some of our special people here with us today, but all of you are special. We're certainly grateful for the media coming and spending time with us, our donors, our staff, and our head coaches. Our head coaches and our student athletes are doing just a wonderful, wonderful job in competition and on the fields. And, upcoming for us, I think about, our men's tennis program will be competing this Friday at 6 p.m. versus UCLA, Sweet 16. What a great contest and event that will be. Also coming up, I know that our track and field, where's Coach Harbor's preparing for Big 12 Outdoor Championships. Coach McGraw's here preparing for the Big 12 championships, the NCAA regionals. And so just a lot of great things happening in terms of our coaches. So again, grateful to everyone being here. Certainly President Livingstone. And it's just been an honor and a privilege, really, to work for her and to work with her since she landed on campus. Believe me, she has kept us all very, very busy. So it's been a great time to be here at Baylor, and certainly today is an exciting day. Back on November 1st. We celebrated, this university celebrated the launch of the Give Light campaign, this ambitious $1.1 billion campaign. And at that time, we announced that we were halfway through. And I think, a great time for this university, a great moment in terms of moving forward, and how do we take a university that is so special to all of us, so special to our alums, something that has been great, but how do we make it even better moving forward? And really, that's the essence of the Give Light campaign. And at that time, athletics unveiled, our 4 signature projects that we really felt like, in terms of athletics moving forward and to remain, competitive, to really, help us with our vision of preparing champions for life, the academic achievement component, the athletic success, character formation, spiritual growth, that these 4 signature projects would help us move forward and hopefully here in the near future, where we can say that we are truly one of the best in the country when we think about all those different areas. And so at that time, we talked about this arena project, and we needed to do something, with the arena. And there was certainly conversation about the arena long before I arrived on this campus. But what's next, and how do we do this right? And so at the Give Light campaign celebration, we were bold. We showed, renderings of what we thought could be a new arena, a field house type concept, and if not right, then we knew that we were going to do a renovation of the Farrell Center, and that certainly could be a special project. And then closely tied to that project, right, was the practice and competition facility for acrobatics and tumbling, and making sure that those student athletes on those two respective programs have, again, first-class facilities to continue to compete. And, you know, if it was maybe a new pavilion building, right, with basketball, then we would come in and we would take and capture the space in the Farrell Center and make that great space, first-class space for acrobatics and tumbling and volleyball. And if it was a renovation of Farrell, then, you know, building something separate for those two programs. And so, again, those two projects were very, very closely aligned. And then third project, we unveiled and talked about this football operations building and putting it, you know, on the banks of the Brazos and right there adjacent to our practice facilities, and something that, you know, we felt as a department really, really important as we continue to build our football program and build a program that's nationally relevant, not just once every 4 or 5 years, but every year from here on out. And then finally, you know, the fourth project was really something that certainly we're all excited about, is once football leaves the Simpson Center, then we capture all of that space for our student athletes, for all 535 of our student athletes, and really build upon what we have right now, what we call the Student Athlete Center for Excellence, and making sure that we're just, you know, state of the art in terms of our space and the way we do things academically. You know, this past year we had 232 academic champions. And what does that mean, right? That's student athletes with a 3.5 GPA or above, or on the dean's list, or they achieved their personal best GPA. And so how do we continue to build upon that and turn 232 into 535, right? And then, you know, also space for the new program that we just launched, the Baylor Built program, which has had great success so far in its infancy stages, and certainly look forward to building that. And so those were the four projects that we unveiled, and certainly we're doing a lot of other smaller projects with all of our sport programs. We're getting ready right now to redo the soccer field, and certainly other projects. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to push and move forward, because I think if you ever stand still, you end up getting beat. And we need to continue to always have that mindset. How do we get better? How do we get better? How do we get better? As you all know, on Saturday, Dr. Livingstone announced that very, very special gift, that $100 million anonymous gift from obviously a very, very generous family, and we can't say enough just in terms of how grateful we are to this family, and just the belief that this family has in this institution, both the university and athletics. So again, certainly very grateful. And as a reminder, you know, the first purpose of that gift was this academic challenge that has a matching component, which I think is really special in terms of that piece, and how it can potentially, you know, fund 17 endowed chairs or faculty positions. And when you think about right now, currently as an institution, we have 5. And so think about that academic transformation across campus. And then the second purpose, and it's why we're all gathered here today, right, is to deliver the great news that the second purpose is it now allows us to build a brand new basketball pavilion on the banks of the Brazos River. So that's a round of applause for that. And so we're excited about being able to move forward with that project. And you know, you think about this basketball pavilion. We want it to be certainly the best in the country, and we're going to be extremely thoughtful when we put it all together. And we want to create a facility that certainly is great for our fans, that just provides a first-class fan experience, but also something that's great for our student athletes and our coaches, and helps us to continue to build the legacy of winning championships. And again, just getting better each and every year. And when you think about, the best way we can help our sport programs, or one of the best ways we can help our sport programs, it's to give them the most electrifying, and I use that word intentionally, the most electrifying home court advantage that we can provide. And so excited about that building. And then, once our basketball programs move into the basketball pavilion, which also will include, state-of-the-art practice facility and everything that goes with practice facility, then it allows our volleyball team and acrobatics and tumbling to move into the Farrell Center, and for us to capture that space and renovate and make it really custom and state-of-the-art for both of those programs. Again, so this gift, again, when you think about transformational, the academic piece and the way that it impacts those 4 sport programs, but also now it's a step in the right direction in terms of doing the remaining projects. On April 13th, we had or launched the United campaign, and really the university and athletics coming together, in terms of our colors, in terms of one mark, the locking BU. And I think this is just another great example of both the university and athletics coming together, this anonymous transformational gift that, again, impacts all of us here at Baylor. And, I'm not even sure I like talking about university and athletics, because that makes it sound separate, and we're not. When we talk about university, that certainly includes us, and we're grateful just to be part of this great institution. But it also unites our programs. It reunites men's basketball, women's basketball, acrobatics and tumbling, and volleyball as well. And it's what our coaches deserve. We've had such great coaches. I'm sitting here staring at Coach Mulkey, and you think about one of only 3 to win 3 national championships. That's absolutely incredible. I'm not going to say the other, but you'll take it? All right, so the other Coach Mulkey, and right, there's got to be something with that name and championships, right? In fact, I may change my last name to Mulkey. But coming off another 5th straight national championship, you look at Coach McGuire in terms of what he's done, 3 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. That's never been accomplished before. And then Coach Drew, just the incredible job that he's done with our men's program, and just take a look and remember where it started and where it's now today, and what he certainly did with the team this year. So again, we're excited in terms of this project and how it moves us forward. And just thank you all for being here and for what you do for Baylor and how you believe in us. I think right now we're going to introduce here or show a video, and then I'll be available for questions as soon as the video is done.
Good evening, Baylor family, and welcome in to Baylor Basketball's stunning new facility along the banks of the Brazos River. Competing in the Big 12 Conference, the absolute best basketball league in the country. McClure drives in and lays it in. It's a terrific home court advantage, with students seated courtside as loud as any arena I've ever been in. An enormous recruiting advantage. Everything is first class, seating, energy, crowd impact, and we're ready for the opening tip of a new era in men's and women's basketball here at the brand new home of the Baylor Bears.
Okay, questions From the media, not from our head coaches, please.
Mack, we've talked about it before, but the idea of going smaller on the basketball arena, just the thinking behind that.
So, we actually spent a lot of time in just looking at different sets of data, including, ticket sales for us, both for women's basketball and men's basketball, season ticket sales, attendance numbers, right? Certainly looking at trends when you look at, some of the facility projects recently, they tend to all be downsizing, right? I think, years ago, we probably traded a little bit TV revenue for single game or gate revenue, right? Because now everything is available on TV. And so I think very similar to this facility, right? They got this right in terms of 45,000 seats. And so just trying to be real with who we are and trying to create a very, very intimate environment, something that we can sell out, and certainly that's the goal, that we can sell out each and every game, and, this phenomena of supply and demand, and make it, just the place to be, right? And the place to be for our fans, that our student athletes feel that when we're recruiting, they feel that they know that each and every night, day, right, they're going to play in front of an extremely, extremely electrifying crowd.
When will you start construction, and what will be the total cost?
So I have a shovel in my Tahoe. So we're getting ready to start immediately. But I think, so two things. We still have some additional funding that we need to secure. And so for the basketball pavilion piece of it with practice facility, we need to raise an additional $30 million, and we certainly feel like we can do that in a decent amount of time. And so, I would answer that by, sooner rather than later. We want to make sure that we can now proceed. We needed to get this lead gift first and really be able to now put our stake in the ground and say, hey, we're building something brand new. And so we'll continue, and we're in the process of securing that remaining $30 million. The total cost of the basketball pavilion with practice facility is $105 million.
The design and everything with just how the arena lays out, how did you go about deciding on that? Did you kind of look at other arenas or kind of pull from different areas? How did that come about?
So, we certainly spent time looking at a variety of different arenas and studying different, seating concepts, and how close can we get, our fans to the actual court, the playing surface, right, and making it feel like your fans are right on top of you, and just, trying to, honestly create as an intimidating as we can home court advantage. Now, I'll say this, there's still more work to do, right? Those are renderings. And once we, really get into the weeds with the architects, et cetera, we'll even dig deeper in terms of just making sure we have the very, very best seating configuration. And, all of us have been involved in construction projects, and you have to treat them like you only get one chance to do this right. And because that's the truth, and we will make sure, I promise this, that we do our due diligence and make sure that we get this right.
Where will it be located?
So it'll be located on the Brazos River, right there in the Farrell Center parking lot. So just next, adjacent to our baseball field. We think that will certainly provide a spectacular setting. This setting right here, this football stadium, it is one of the most spectacular settings in the entire country. Extremely, extremely well done, and we want to replicate that and be able to take advantage of, not every campus has a river running through it, and making, that was a movie, I think, but making sure we really take advantage of that for our fans, but also for recruiting purposes as well.
Mack, are there specific plans already in place for the Farrell Center? What do you want to do there?
So great question, Jerry. I think there's concepts now. I think there's been a lot of conversation about how to best, tackle that. Making sure that whatever we do, it works for acrobatics and tumbling and volleyball, and sharing a space. And certainly there's seasons are at different times, but we practice year round now, and making sure we can accommodate that. So we've looked at does the Farrell Center main floor become the main competition area? What do we do with the two separate practice gyms, right? Do we combine the two separate practice gyms to make a smaller, bigger gym, right? Not sure that was well worded, but to be able to really look at all of those possibilities. So we're still in the concept phase in terms of what's the best way to move forward on that.
Mack, to that end, the Farrell Center hosts a lot of other events, outside of even just Baylor things, graduations and banquets and stuff. Would the newly renovated Farrell Center still be in line for that, or would those events maybe go to the new basketball arena?
The Farrell Center, our vision right now is that basketball pavilion is a basketball-only facility, and that's the way we're going to design it. It is, we're going to do the very, very best to again, make it the best, pavilion, best kind of field house concept in the entire country, just for those two sport programs. So now thinking about the Farrell Center, absolutely, I think there's room for, other events, but I want to caution everybody, our primary tenants of that building will be acrobatics and tumbling and volleyball. Because we don't want to get it back into a same situation where, they don't have a dedicated place to practice and to play. And so I think there's some more conversation we need to have, but primary tenants, absolutely, acrobatics and tumbling and volleyball.
Matt, what will be some of the amenities at the new arena? Like, would it be luxury boxes, stuff like that?
John, I appreciate the question. I think, without boxing myself into a corner, because I think there's still a lot more of those discussions, but I think right now, today, our vision would be, certainly some different options in terms of premium seating and maybe some different clubs, not just one club, but maybe, 2 clubs, 3 clubs, right? How do we maybe think about different price points? And then also, loge boxes, I think are something, that have been introduced into both football and basketball arenas, and those have been really popular. Doesn't matter what part of the country. And then I think for us on the suite piece, right now I don't see a vision for suites. Maybe we have a one-off suite, but when you think about where we're located, in Waco, a lot of our, corporate, supporters are out of Dallas and Austin, and there's just, or Houston, and there's so many games right on the weekdays, and are we really going to fill those suites, all, every home game for both women's basketball and men's basketball? So right now, do not see, suites included. Yeah, so the basketball pavilion will include, separate practice gyms for each program, and separate, office suites, locker rooms, team lounges, all of those things that are traditional in terms of a basketball practice facility. And then there'll be some shared space in terms of athletic performance and athletic medicine and some nutrition areas. And we'll be really, really smart. Obviously, we're going to ask coaches. Coaches know what they want and how they want it, and so they'll be very, very involved in terms of the design process. And I even thought about this last night. We're just going to tell Scott, you have this much square feet, and Kim, you have this much square feet, and go at it. So, but they'll be very, very involved in the process.
We'll have a tricked out media room.
Only if you wear those shorts, Bryce, all right? Absolutely. We will have a tricked out, David K., remember that, tricked out media room. Thank you. Absolutely.
With the announcement of step up in this situation? And what do you hope to do with this arena to maybe differentiate itself from some of the others in the state?
Thank you, Chuck. I guess, you certainly look at what your competition is doing and spend some time, but really, our focus was, hey, we want to continue to make sure that both programs compete at an elite level, at a championship level, right? And so that's really our focus. And what do we do for those two programs, and how do we do it? And that certainly starts with capacity, seating configuration, all of those things. And so yes, we certainly understand and know what competition's doing, but what really drives us is us and who we are and what we need and what we think it takes to be elite and to be competitive nationally. And then, I think, how will this be different than other arenas? Certainly I hope we take advantage of just how technology continues to change, and that we have the most recent upscale technology. But when we do that, also we build in the ability to grow and move and as technology continues to expand and grow. And then I think just in terms of seating configuration and the way we do that, hopefully that is going to be maybe different. There's not a lot of arenas out there that are just specific to basketball, right? They're arenas or pavilions or field houses, right, that accommodate a lot of different things. And for us, I think this is going to be critical that we really design something that is specific to women's and men's basketball.
Mack, as far as parking, I guess you'll have to add some more parking since you're going to be taking part in the parking.
Uber. We'll look at parking. We've had, certainly at this stage, we've talked about parking and do we need to replace it? Do we not need to replace it? How does that work? Right now, trends are showing that less people are bringing their car to events and stuff. So we'll make sure that we accommodate for that as we get closer to that point in time.
Mack, do you have a figure in mind what you'll need for the Barrel Center, or will that just depend on the design?
We do have a figure in mind. We believe that figure is $20 million, and I think if we're not if when we raise that, I think now all of a sudden the way we renovate and repurpose that space is going to be second to none for both programs. So we're excited.
Mack may have missed this, but a name for the new arena, will it be a person's name, a corporate name, or has that been discussed?
So right now, moving forward, it's the Baylor Basketball Pavilion, but we'll have more conversation with the anonymous donor, and there may be a point in time here in the future where that family decides that they want their name on the pavilion. But for right now, we'll just leave it at Baylor University Basketball Pavilion.